So if you recollect yesterday's session, yesterday we have seen web service with the SOAP UI tool, how to test the web service. The same way, how to find the web service and REST APIs against OER, and how to find, create, or project in the SOAP UI to import the WSDL operations, so that we can create the request payload based on our inputs. And once it is successfully executed, so before that we need to provide an authentication with a SaaS application username, the password, and before that we need to assign integration specialist role to the user, so that you will get a privilege to execute all web services. Okay, so if you're not able to execute your web service, then you need to connect to the developer connect. There you can find the privilege role against your operation and assign the role to the user, so that you will get an access. Okay, so yesterday we have created a couple of journal transactions to the interface table. So whenever it's executed successfully, we will get a response that the data will go to the interface table, that is GL web service. In the same way, we have seen ERP integration web service, that is also important web service for us. For all the ESA jobs related operations, we are going to use the ERP integration web service. In that, we have seen submit ESA job request in order to submit ESA jobs. So what are the input attributes required to submit ESA job request? Job package name, job name, followed by the parameters. So how will you find ESA job name in the package for your submit ESA job request? Anyone?
OER.
No. How will you find the OER?
No, we will run the ESS job and we will come to know that program.
That is parameters, right? For the parameter perspective, we need to submit your ESA job so that you can refer the parameters, how it is referring as an internal. So before that, you need to get the job package name and job definition name, right?
Manage enterprise scheduler.
Yes, just navigate to the manage enterprise scheduler task. There, search with your ESA job name. Against the ESA job name, you can find your job name and job package name. Okay, and followed by the parameters. So once it is successfully submitted, then you may get a request ID. It will return the request ID in the response payload. Get the request ID and submit get ESA job request to get the ESA job status. So that is for get ESA jobs. The same way, if you want to download the output, there is a get execution details and download. If you want to get a complete zip file for your ESA job output, then you can go for the download execution details, so that it will download as attachment in the format of zip file. Okay, that is your ESA ERP integration web service. And the same yesterday we have seen the REST API get operation, how to use the REST APIs and how to perform the get operation. So get operation is nothing but simply try to find the information. Yesterday we have seen the GL JE batches, right? The GL batches, we are trying to get that. So today we'll see how to create, to perform the post operations, the patch operation, and so on. We'll see. Okay. So here, first, in order to create the post operation, we'll try to create an AR receipt. Okay, this is receivables and account receivable.
Vijay, small confusion here,
Yep.
because we have two types of web services here, right? I mean, REST and SOAP. So
yes,
how do we know, or how they have categorized this type of task is being done by?
Yeah, most of the business entities, web service and REST APIs will be available. Whichever, for example, if you say take an example for journal, for web service, we have import journals method, but the same is not available for the REST API.
Okay.
Getting that?
Okay, so we'll have to do a research which type of API is available.
If import journal is available in the both ways, the both web services, if the import journal is available, obviously you can give a preference for REST APIs. The REST APIs are faster when you compare with the web services.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Vijay, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yesterday I tried to use a SOAP UI.
Mm-hmm.
I used the same sheet which was uploaded by you, but I
Mm-hmm.
got an error for GL value, GL not valid. So I also tried to change the data and I tried to again validate it, but again it was giving the same error. So
What is the error?
yeah, I'll read it out. Uh, GL invalid ledger and
Yeah.
the
Do you
detail.
have, first of all, are you able to create the journal from UI?
Actually, I didn't create. I looked up at the existing data and tried
No,
to
no,
use
no, no.
the same
No,
data also.
first you need to try to create a journal from UI. You need to get
Okay,
access for that. Once you are able to create the journal from UI, then replicate the same from web service.
okay, I'll try that again then.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
So this is account receivables. First, we'll try to create an AR receipt here. The same way here also. First, I'm trying to create the AR receipt from application. I'm trying to replicate the same from REST API. Okay, just try to create a receipt. So here, in order to create the receipt, I need the receipt type. I need receipt type, business unit, receipt method, receipt number, currency, entered amount, receipt date, accounting date, and something remittance bank information here, and something customer information, which are the mandatory here. These are the mandatory details. So I'm trying to select something business unit. Or I have one business unit, just 1, 2, 3. There is something manual. And receipt number something X121 and amount is 100 and receipt date, accounting date, remittance bank account name, something Bank of America, and the branch, New York, and account details. Okay, so I'm trying to get in a customer account also. Customer account number is 1. So this is my receipt information. Okay, here the same receipt information I'm trying to populate in my. Can you please unmute? Yeah, I'm trying to populate the same information in my post operation. This is my post operation. This is my receipt endpoint URI in order to create the receipt. This is my receipt endpoint URI. The same information. This is receipt number, receipt method, business unit, customer account number, amount, currency, and remittance bank account number, customer site, receipt date, something comments. The same I'm trying to add the elements or attributes here. First, try to create a receipt here. Just submit and create another. So XX121 is our receipt number. Okay, so what you have to do, just copy the URL of receipt and try to get that receipt from REST API. Okay. So if you want to, it's not possible to always get the data with the IDs, right? It's not possible to get the data with the IDs. So we need to pass the P1 number, receipt number, invoice number, so on. The way you can easily get the data. So apart from IDs, if you want to get the data from any element, apart from the IDs, if you want to get the data for any element, then you can use a query attributes. You can use a query method in order to get the data. So here I'm trying to use a query method here. Just query followed by receipt number. So before that, you can easily, like this, you can make a practice. First, try to get the receipts, all the receipts. Right? Make an authentication. Okay. So I'm not hard coded anything here. Just I'm trying to get all the receipts here. So this is my response. So I'm trying to get all the receipts here. This is standard receipt ID. So when you pass this receipt ID, by default, you will get a specific receipt ID information here. Just followed by the parameter, which is receipt ID for to get a one receipt. So it's not possible to pass always receipt ID, right? I want to pass the business unit, test 1, 2, 3, so that it will try to get all the receipts which are associated with test 1, 2, 3. And receipt number, if I want to go for the receipt number, then I can query the REST API with the receipt number. The way same as where condition, where receipt number, where business unit, where receipt method, where receipt date. The way you can add these attributes as a query attributes here. So for that, just copy the receipt number here. Followed by the query. Question mark query equal to receipt number equal, just hard code the value in a single quotes. XX121. This is just now we have created from UI, right? Just try to send the request. This is our receipt which we have been created from an application, right? XX121. The same here. If you see once again, question mark followed by the query, which is equal to receipt number, which is followed by your value, so that you can try to get the data as per your expectation. So it's not possible to pass all the time, which is IDs. If you want to pass the IDs, directly you can use slash followed by the ID. Other than IDs, if you want to use any inputs, just you can use the query attribute method and pass the respective element and try to get the information. Okay. Now just copy this data. Now I want to create a receipt. Now you know at least a 90% information. In order to create the receipt, what are the mandatory attributes are required? By seeing this application, by creating this receipt, you know at least 90% of the attributes, you know, right? How to, what are the attributes in order to create the receipt? Same attributes you can find from your get method here. This is receipt number, business unit, receipt method, receipt date, currency, and remittance bank account details here, customer account number, customer site, and accounting date. So these are the attributes are required in order to create the receipt. So always, if you want to perform in a post operation, first post operation is nothing but in order to create, nothing but insert. Okay. So we are not sure which attributes I need to use as a payload, right? As the input attributes. So when you perform in a post operation, do remember first try to perform the get operation. First perform a get operation and try to create the same transaction from UI, so that you will get to know what are the mandatory attributes in order to create the transaction. And get that element from this get operation payload and try to construct your input attributes payload for your post operation. Okay. So the same I have been constructed here. This is my post operation and followed by my attributes here. So how will you create the same? Just copy the URL. This is my endpoint URL. Just try to add the post, and authentication will get inherited from prior authentication. And this is the body. Select the raw and the input format as JSON, and add your, sorry. This is the body, add your input payload. Just get this all the attributes from your get payload and try to construct your input attribute and paste the same in your body section. Now I'm trying to create the receipt here. Just try to send the request. It will directly create the receipt. There is no interface table for this. It will directly create the receipt for your AR receipt. This is 201 created. This is your receipt payload. Just copy the receipt number and try to query the same. Manage receipts. This is receipt number and try to search. This is your receipt. We have been created from your REST API. Okay. So before that, just navigate to the OER once and try to see this REST API. There Oracle will recommend you how to use the get operation, how to use this post operation, and what are the mandatory attributes are required in order to create the receipt. Oracle will guide you at least 90% in order to invoke your REST API methods.
Vijay, here interface tables internally will be run.
No, if interface tables are there, data will go to interface tables. If there is no interface table, data will go to directly base table.
Oh.
For this AR,
Like APIs, it will be.
Yeah, same as PL/SQL APIs.
Okay.
Okay. So this is standard receipt. Here, create a standard receipt. This is our REST API. This is manage standard receipts. Create a standard receipt. Integrate REST APIs. This is your REST API. Post operation. This is your endpoint URL, and this is followed by sample payload for this post operation. Just use the sample payload, and if it doesn't work, it will throw an error. So on so attribute is required. Let's do this. For example, I'm removing the business unit here. Just I'm ignoring the business unit. I'm trying to create a receipt. It will validate your data. The receipt method you selected is invalid. Enter a valid site for the customer, but it won't throw an error, appropriate error for your missing business unit. That is the problem with REST APIs. Sometimes it won't target the exact issue. So in order to create this receipt, business unit is mandatory. The way you can get, how will you get to know whether the business unit is mandatory or not? While creating the receipt from UI, you will get to know this is a mandatory. And the remittance bank account number. Just I'm trying to delete and try to create the receipt. You must provide a value for the remittance bank account number attribute, which is 400 bad requests. There is an issue with your input payload. When you get a status 400 bad request, nothing but it's an issue with your input payload. Okay. Now for the same here, do we have this is query standard receipt. Get a receipt, find receipt, delete standard receipt, but there is no update operation for your receipt. There is no update operation for receipt. If you want to use an update, simply just use the patch operation. And you need to provide a receipt ID. Whichever ID is required, you need to provide the ID. and try to update your data against the record. So we try to perform one patch here.
So Vijay, I had a question on this patch one.
Yeah, please.
So will it override the posted transactions as well, or it will only override the newly created ones?
Whichever it may be, same as your update condition. In simple SQL, you are using update condition, right? In order to update the data. The same way here also works.
Then that would be a problem, right?
Why?
Because let's say I have created a receipt today and I have run the accounting for that, and it is already
No,
been.
the reason I'm saying for the receipt, there is no updates.
Okay. Only for certain tables which are.
Yeah, wherever RIL is allowed for the patch operation,
fine.
just you can use. It's
Okay,
not
thank you.
for all, it's not sure. For all the business entities, just have a patch. Okay. Sorry.
So it will be there in the REST API, whether the patch is available for this API or not?
Yes, here you can find something. Here, if you see here, this is a create, query, and the delete. There is no patch for the managed receipts. There is no patch. If you see for another here, very rare scenarios, we have this patch.
I see an update down. You just passed it. Scroll. Can you scroll down? Somewhere in the journals or somewhere. Yeah, here.
Date, installment, and invoice. So this you can use the patch operation, and for this you need to add that. It's mandatory to pass for which transaction you are trying to update the same customer transaction ID. So how will you get a customer transaction ID? Any idea? I want to update my record. So in a simple SQL statement also, you are trying to get an ID, right? Update table, set, so on so value, where you are adding the condition. So before that, how will you find a value for that where?
By doing a get.
Yeah, by using select statement, you will get a value. So here also just perform the get operation and try to get the IDs and try to perform the updates operation. Okay. I'm trying to get a simple one. Just get items. This is item. Names. Here this is the items REST API. So there is update one item. So I want to update an item here. Update one item. What is FSC REST API? This cycle count item. This is something different items. This is not same as inventory item. Create item REST API.
You can also look for chart of accounts.
Date here. Create absence. Here update on organization is there. Why is cycle count items? It's not related same as inventory transactions. This is also referring the same. Let's field items. Why is this item? There is item V2, yeah, item version V2 exactly. This is your item version V2 rest endpoints in order to create the items. So get one item or get all items. First we'll try to perform get all items. So this is my endpoint URI. Just copy the same and add the domain. This is my domain and add the authentication and try to send the request. So we'll get an items here. Why it's taking more time? We got an data. So this is your item data. Around 23,000 lines are there. So sorry, 25 items. We will have more columns, right, for our MTL system items V table. So here, this is my item ID. Now, just try to get a one item. Get one item. For this, I required item V2 unique ID, not the item ID. So unique ID, when it will refer the unique ID, just try to copy the item ID here and try to pass an item ID. We'll see whether we will get a result or not. There is no for not for not found. There is no data for this item ID. When a REST API indicates a unique, then we need to refer the value here from the hyperlinks. So here links, here you can find in the self, in the links, the relationship self, just navigate to the self. Here items V2 after, you can find some digits. There is a unique identification numbers are available here after items V2. This is your, for this item a unique ID. For this item unique ID, you can get it from relationship itself. Okay, now add this value here. Just try to send the request. Now you will get a specific item here. See here 200. Okay, this is a specific item value, specific item record here. This is, so always do remember, if the REST API represent a unique keyword, always you need to refer the ID from your hyperlinks, not from straight away ID. Do remember. Now I'm trying to update my item description here. I'm trying to update my item description. So for that, update one item. This is a patch operation. Again, items V2 unique ID is required. Okay. Here, just use the patch operation in the body and try to get the attribute from here itself. This is my item description. This is the body, raw, and the text JSON format, and add in the JSON format here. So this is my item description. Something after 3, just you can add test. Try to perform the request. Now this is successfully updated. If you see here, this is item description is appended with a text. Okay, this is all about patch. The same way you can use the delete operation also. If Oracle allows delete, you can use the delete. So this is all about REST APIs. Any doubts, any clarification so far? So the web service and REST APIs.
So,
Yeah.
Vijay, we do all these transactions, right? I mean, so is there any attribute where it updates, like whether it was updated or deleted with JSON or web service? I mean, the web service or the REST APIs.
No, I'm not getting you. Can you repeat again?
So when we perform these transactions, right? From the back end, like, will we be able to identify if these transactions were performed with web service or REST APIs?
Still, I'm not getting your question. Yes, Sandeep, you can repeat again. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, is there any way that we can know if the transaction, like in this example, we perform the update?
Yes.
So will we be able to know that whether this was updated with a web service call or a REST API call, or
yeah, the same. Yeah, Oracle is providing the OER, right? This is update call, get call, and patch call. Here you are getting all the methods. If it is patch, then only you can go for the patch.
But where was it tracked, Vijay? Yeah, like whether this transaction, let's say I can manually update from the front end.
Yes.
We can also do it from the patch.
Yes.
Which is one is REST API, right?
Yes.
And another one is the SOAP
yes,
API.
web service.
So if I updated today and tomorrow you updated with the SOAP API, and somebody later in 2 days later, if somebody updated using the REST API, so will be a record of it, like through which service it was being updated, other than the last updated by.
No, only who columns will support. That's it.
Okay.
Only who columns would be support, who is updated which date. Every REST API web service call, you can find this who columns. Okay. This is last updated by and just user one. This is for my user. Okay. Still, anyone has any questions for the REST API perspective? So as of now, we have seen SCM and finance track, right? Something SCM and finance track REST APIs. If you go for human capital management module, there is no SOAP web services for HCM module. Still, we do have couple of entities for this HCM for web services, but Oracle is day to day, they are absoluting all these web services. They are deprecating all the web services which are not useful in the future. Oracle is straight away recommending do not use any SOAP web service for HCM. For all the HCM requirements, we are going to use REST APIs only. Okay. Now we'll try to see how to create a couple of, we'll try to perform some HCM related REST API operations. Okay. So here, person REST API in HCM, just try to find. This is complete your person related, HCM related operation.
So Vijay, where do we find these kind of recommendations that Oracle wants us to use only REST
Oracle
API
will,
and not?
yeah, Oracle will guide you.
Okay.
In the oracle.com support.oracle itself, they will clearly mention the same way for every release. They will provide a note for us for every release. In the release also, they will clearly highlight, do not use any SOAP web services for HCM application.
Okay. So before we start, like we should go through all these documents.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Especially for the HCM, do not go for the SOAP web service. Only REST APIs only.
okay. And in finance we can use, right?
Yeah, finance and rest of HCM, you can use anything.
Okay.
So this is the workers, nothing but your employee related web service here. Get a worker. The same here, get all workers. This is same, nothing is changed here. And add the domain. And add the authentication. And try to send the request. You will get all the employee details here. This is employee details. I want to get a specific person ID information. So if you see here, okay, first we'll try to get a specific information. This is get a worker person ID. Get a worker person ID. Always do remember for HCM related issues, for HCM related REST APIs, Oracle is directly saying it is a ID, but internally it is referring a unique ID. It is internal referring unique ID. Let's pass this person ID. This is my person ID and try to query the information here. You will get 404 not found. 404 not found. So always you need to pass as a unique ID. This is my unique ID. This is my unique ID and try to pass the unique ID and try to get the information. So this is my data. This is for a single record. Now, here if you observe here, the relationship self is nothing but this is the hyperlink itself related for this record ID. Other than this, you can see relationship child. Child is nothing but this person related child entities. Always when you see the data which is relationship is child is nothing but the transaction related child entities. For example, I want to see the person addresses. This is my URL. I want to see my person's citizenship. This is my URL. I want to see my person email IDs. This is my URL. The way here, just go to the hyperlinks here, whichever you want. I want to see the citizenship. Just click on the URL. So this is the citizenship. This is followed by the same up to this your same person API, REST API, followed by the child citizenships. Child citizenships. The same way here also you can get it the same. This is citizenships. If you want to get a citizenship, the same REST API followed by the person ID, followed by child citizenships. Same here you will get child citizenships. But it's not possible to get an entire information in a single payload. Always you need to drill down from one entity to another entity. Okay. This is child citizenship. Try to add an authentication and try to send the request. Now there is no citizenship added for this person. So it's returning 0 records, but the call is success 200. Okay. The way you can work on person related HCM REST APIs. Okay. The next, So we are good on REST APIs web services. Now we are jumping into integrations. How we can use this REST API integrations in our REST APIs web service in our integrations. Before using the integrations, first we'll see the integration user interface. What are the various components we do have, and what is the significance of those?
Vijay, one question. So
Yes.
these unique IDs, are they generated on the fly or are they
On the fly,
constant for-
exactly, on the fly. So this is
So Vijay,
voice application username, the password, and URL. Just you can use everyone please note down. Yeah, somebody is saying, please go ahead.
yeah, Vijay, what kind of questions will be asking for the related to the REST API and the web services in the interview?
Mostly we won't see any questions for REST APIs and web services. We will get in a questions for integrations perspective. In real time, they will ask, how will you get a, first of all, how will you find a web service or REST API? You need to say OER. So for a get operation, you are trying to get all the records. For a single record, how will you get a person? How will you get a specific record? So how will you find a unique ID? Nothing but there is a relationship. Self is available. Against the self, I can find my unique ID for the transaction. So other than this, you won't see any questions. Mostly you will get a question for integration perspective because it's straightforward.
So Vijay, these are the things which you showed us. That is a one unique ID, and we did it in Postman, right?
Yes.
But while during the integration, how will we get the unique ID runtime?
Yeah, that is we'll see in the integration time. Okay, I will show you the scenario with one integration.
Okay.
So I shared with you integration voice application username, the password. Okay, just connect the same. I'm also using the same one here. This is your URL, and when you log with username and the password, you can see the options here. This is Oracle integration. Here, the left side, there is a 3 horizontal lines are available. Just click on the same. You can see the integrations, Visual Builder, and the processes. Earlier, very first initial version is ICS, Integration Cloud Service. When Oracle released ICS, there is no processes, there is no Visual Builder. So later on, Oracle is upgraded with an OIC, Oracle Integration Cloud, which is a combination of integrations, Visual Builders, and the processes. Visual Builder is nothing but in order to create a custom VB forms. The process is nothing but you can define custom decision models, workflows. And the integration is nothing but you can develop your integrations in order to transmit the data between legacy systems to your Oracle system or Oracle to legacy systems. Okay, this is the monitoring. When you perform any integrations, when you submit any integration, you can track your integration in the monitoring section. First, select the integration here. Again, integrations, we have several components are available here. Integrations, connections, lookups, packages, agents, adapters, and the libraries. So integration is nothing but it's a develop where when you click on integration, here itself you can create your own integrations. This is the connections and adapters. So if you see the adapters, each adapter is linked with your connection. Just click on the adapters. So as we discussed earlier, Oracle OIC will support 73 adapters as of now, nothing but it can connect 73 pre-built systems. Adobe eSign. You can connect easily with this application, which is Adobe eSign, in order to transmit the data. AQ. If you want to connect SAP Ariba system, just you can provide username and the password, and you can connect to the SAP Ariba system. And SAP Concur, IBM, the way you see Oracle. So these are Oracle related products, the complete Oracle related products here. 20 adapters are available. If you want to connect Oracle ATP, this is our Autonomous Transaction Processing Database. This is Oracle CPQ application. Oracle database, nothing but your on-premise Oracle system database. If you want to connect Oracle system database, this is adapter. This is Oracle database cloud service again. This is Oracle e-business suite. If you want to connect Oracle e-business suite system application, then this is adapter. And this Oracle ERP cloud is nothing but our SaaS application. If you want to connect our SaaS application, this is our adapter. Just you need to provide SaaS application host name, username, the password, so that you will connect your Oracle ERP cloud and you can push the data and you can pull the data. This is HCM cloud. If you want to connect HCM cloud, just you can use HCM cloud. The way, whichever you want, just you can connect your system and try to transmit the data. So use this adapter and try to create a connection here. While creating the connection, it's required authentication information. Okay, this is about adapter and connection. This is the lookups. So when you are working with integration, there is a chance to hard code some values. There is a chance to hard code some values. So instead of hard coding, you need to maintain all your hard coded values in the lookups. Or sometimes we may need to derive some values based on some conditions, same as decode and the case. The way lookups will come into picture, lookup can act same as the decode and the case. Based on some value, you need to derive another value. This is the lookups, and it's the packages. Package is nothing but same as your PL/SQL package representation, but not the PL/SQL package. Just you can correlate with the PL/SQL package definition, specification. So when you create a PL/SQL package, you have n number of procedures and functions, right? So here also you can create a package. Simply just you can define a package name. Inside the package name, you can create n number of integrations. N number of integrations. That's it. But there is no coding and all. Just for a representation. This is the agents, especially if you want to connect databases. If you want to connect an on-premise systems. For example, in our case, on-premise system is Oracle e-business suite application. If you want to connect other than cloud system, agents will come into picture. Agent will establish a channel between your legacy systems to your Oracle cloud system. Nothing but OIC. Agents will establish a channel between your on-premise systems to your OIC in order to exchange the data. Okay, agents will configure by your DBS. Example is our on-premise system Oracle e-business suite application and Oracle database, which is R12 database. Okay, for this we require some configurations for an agents. This adapt and this libraries. Libraries mostly you can use for JavaScript. I want to perform some logics on my specific column. An attribute, I want to perform a specific logic. For example, there is a date format is there, but for REST API is expecting a different date format. I want to convert into a specific date format. Then you can go for the libraries, which is you can create a JavaScript functions and use those JavaScript functions in your integrations. The way, if you want to manipulate some logics or if you want to apply some logics, same as your formula columns in your report, just you can go for the libraries, use the JavaScript functions. JavaScript functions don't need to learn a separate, just Google it. Whenever requirements will come, you can easily get the things. It's same as your simple PL/SQL. Okay, this is all about integration components. Any doubts here? Components wise. Hope everyone clear.
Yeah, Vijay, can you give an example on lookups? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
what type?
we'll see the integrations when we are working with integration. You can clearly understand this.
No. When we are saying
same case and decode, you can correlate decode. For example, country name is US. Country name US. I want to get the value United States.
Okay.
If the country name is UK, you are getting the value UK from your file. But I want to get the file. I want to derive the value United Kingdom for my REST API. but the client is sending UK. The moment these lookups will come into picture, just pass the UK value to the lookup, which is a country, and try to get the United Kingdom value. Getting?
Okay, yeah.
And Vijay, if this adapter is not available for any external system, then we create it, or?
No, these are the pre-built adapters. We cannot create any new adapters here. Just you can use whichever Oracle is provided adapters. If the system is not available, so it's not possible to transmit the data.
Okay, so what do we do in that
then
case?
Obviously, in that case, obviously you can use the REST APIs, and that the source system does have a capability to invoke our REST APIs. It's a manual process.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the integration. Just click on the integrations. Just click on the create here. The right side, there is a button create. Just click on the create. Here, these are integration styles, integration patterns, app-driven orchestration, scheduled orchestration, file transfer, basic routing, publish to OIC, subscribe to OIC. These first two only we will use in real time. The rest of things we will not use in real time. Okay, as of now, in my experience, I have not used the rest of this. This file transfer again we will use inside of these orchestrations. So the rest of three, it's not, will not use, but we'll see the publish to OIC and subscribe to OIC for one of the use case, the significance at the last. This app-driven orchestration is nothing but this is called a real-time integration. Whenever Siemens system create a purchase order, I want to create the same purchase order immediately in my Oracle system. The moment in order to perform real-time transaction, you can go for app-driven orchestration. This is scheduled orchestration. Client is placing the file in FTP server, pick the file and process the same, depends on your frequency, depends on your time. This is scheduled orchestration. Nothing for the bulk transactions. For bulk processing, you can go for the scheduled orchestration. This is a file transfer, nothing but file activities. The same file activities will perform the app-driven orchestration and scheduled orchestration. Mostly we perform in a scheduled orchestration here. The same file symbol you can see here. Okay. Now, first we'll work on scheduled orchestration. Mostly all the use cases I'm going to use scheduled orchestration. At the last, I will show you one integration for app-driven orchestration and one more integration for publish to OIC and subscribe to OIC. Just click on the scheduled orchestration. Provide an integration name. GP10 integration. This is integration name, which is user defined, and this is visible for the user. This is identifier, nothing but same as your executable name, executable short name, like that. This would be unique across all your integrations. This is version as of now, this primary version, which is 1. Just click on the create. If you create any packages, if you want to create any packages, first try to create a package, associate package for this integration. Just click on the create. Already this integration is available. Click on the create. So when you create any integration, this is schedule-based orchestration, right? The starting point, nothing but triggering point. This is the starting point we call as a triggering point. The starting point we called as a triggering point. Here, triggering point would be scheduled orchestration itself, the scheduled point. If you want to submit this integration as ad hoc base, you can submit. If you want to schedule it, you can schedule. Okay. Very first time you can see 2 errors here. The one error belongs to, as of now, we do not have any flow. That is one error. Remaining one error is we need to add a tracking. The right side, you can see a couple of horizontal lines, which is action items. Just click on the actions. You can navigate with the tracking here. Add a tracking here. Just drag and drop start time to the tracking field here. Drag and drop. Just click on the save. Now one error will be gone. So you can track this integration with the tracking name, start time. When you submit this integration, just navigate to the monitoring section. There you can find this integration with the tracking name. Now in between, we can add your integration design. This is starting point, this is ending point. This is starting point and this is ending point. So just close it. Okay, first we'll go to connections. Okay, first we'll see the components. So this is our integration, right? This is a global fault, select, reposition, layout, and reset. First, we'll see the layout. This by default, it will display as a vertical. So if you want to change the design for horizontal, just go for the horizontal. This is a horizontal design and save your work. Okay, if you disturb something layout like this, I want to reposition same as standard, just click on the reset. So it will reset to the exact positions. Okay, just click on the reset. This is horizontal layouts and reset. The select is not required. Reposition we'll see later, and the global fault we'll see later. Okay. The rest of things we'll do tomorrow. You see the components right side, we have specific sections are there. We'll see in detail tomorrow.
Including this PCS and VBCS, from when Oracle has introduced this OIC?
OIC around it's 3 years back.
2019 around?
Yeah, around.
Okay. ICS from?
ICS we have around 2015 itself.
Okay, okay.
ICS, when the very first time ICS is there, it's have very limited features within the ICS itself also. Whenever OS introduced, Oracle enhanced a lot for the integrations too.
It's look like a Dell Boomi also because
Dell Boomi and the MuleSoft, these are related to middleware layers.
Yes,
it doesn't have this OIC. OIC is somewhat costlier application when you compare with the Dell Boomi and MuleSoft. If the client do not have any subscription for OIC, maybe they will use this MuleSoft. But just our job is we need to build our payload with a web service and REST APIs. MuleSoft can trigger our REST APIs and web services. We need to provide input payload and the endpoint URL followed by the authentication. Same as your web services and same as your SOAP AI and Postman testing. They will do the rest of process in the MuleSoft if there is no voice.
PaaS, right?
Sorry?
It's a kind of PaaS, right?
Yeah, it's voice is complete the PaaS application. The reason we are creating custom components, right?
Yeah.